guys, today we're going to draw a picture inspired by children's book artist Christian Robinson, who is an award-winning American illustrator. You may actually have some of his books at home, some of the books with his pictures at least, like The Last Stop on Market Street, Gaston, or The Smallest Girl in the Smallest Grade, but he actually has a lot more than that. A lot of his pictures are collages, which means that he cuts out and glues colored pieces of paper to make a lot of his art, and then he'll actually paint details on top of them. The piece that we're going to use as inspiration for our drawing today will be his collage painting called BFF. Isn't it cute? I love how he chose these two very unlikely animals to be best friends. It's almost like this one picture can tell its own story, right? And that actually shows what an amazing illustrator Christian Robinson is. So, okay, let's get started. Now, normally I would say that we should create our own collage so that we can sort of replicate what he's done so that we can learn his technique. But since a lot of us are home and we have limited supplies, we're going to just use markers today, okay? So to start, let's use a brown marker. I'm kind of using like an orangish brown, but if you only have regular colors, just any type of brown will do, okay? So we're just gonna draw the outline of our gorilla here. So towards the top of the page, you can draw an upside down U, like this. And then you're going to draw from one of the sides, you're gonna draw out kind of like an angled line. And then we're gonna draw the same thing on the other side. Like this. This will be our gorilla's shoulders. Okay. Now you're basically going to connect this line to this line with a big rounded shape, okay? Kind of like a big rounded U. So watch me first if you're unsure. And you can kind of go almost down to the bottom of your page. It can be pretty big, okay? So this is going to be the main shape. That's basically the outline of your entire gorilla. The only other thing that we're going to add with our brown color here will be his toes. So from this corner here, let's draw 1, 2, 3, 4 little rounded shapes there for his toes on that foot. You can go ahead and color them in right away and then give a little bit of a space, and then you're going to do 4 more. 1, 2, 3, 4. And it's okay if they're kind of just look like 2 blobs, no worries. This part would be really hard to cut out, so you should be happy that we're not doing a collage and we're just drawing it instead. So now we're actually going to put down our brown marker for a minute, because let's draw some of the shapes on the inside before we color the rest of it brown, okay? So now you're going to grab, if you have a lighter brown or if you have a peach, that would be great. If not, you can use a yellow, just another color that's going to stand out a little bit against the brown, okay? So I'm using kind of like a tan. And we're going to draw kind of like the inside of his face. And this will be a shape almost like, you're going to do kind of like a U shape there. And then another one on the bottom. Okay, so it's almost like a figure 8. It's almost like an 8 shape, or like a peanut. And then if you want, you can go ahead and color this in right away. because the only other thing we're going to do on this shape will be the details of the face, but we'll do that later when we grab our black. Okay. So now we can put away our tan color and we can actually grab a gray for the cat, okay? If you don't have a gray, you can just use another color again, or you can even use the same color that you used for the face, okay? But I'm just trying to stay pretty true to the colors in Christian's original painting, and he used gray. Okay, so let's draw the little cat. I want the cat to kind of be about this big, so he fits like right here around where like his shoulder is, okay? So the first thing I'll do will be a circle for his face. And then on the top, let's draw 2 ears, 2 upside down V shapes. And you can color this in right away also. Okay. For our cat's body, let's draw like a big oval, like that. You can color that in too. And then of course the tail, which will just be a curved line here, and then another curved line right underneath, and then just connect them at the top. So it's almost like a crescent shape, almost like you're drawing like a crescent moon. And we'll color that little tail in. Okay. So we're done with our gray. Now we can go back to our brown, or whatever color you used for the outside shape of our gorilla, and we can actually color in everything else, okay? Now, I'm not going to speed this up because it shouldn't take too long, and I'm going to use my normal technique of outlining first and then coloring in. So I'm just going to outline the face and my cat. And then we can color everything else in. There you go. Now I wonder, there was actually a real life story of a gorilla that became friends with a cat. There was a gorilla named Coco that lived in captivity, I guess. So that basically means like they had it, you know, inside. It wasn't living in the wild, and they were studying it. And they actually, I mean, gorillas are so smart. They even taught this gorilla Coco how to do sign language. And so it could communicate with the people that worked there to study her. And she had a little pet cat. And it was like a little gray kitten. It had stripes on it. And she named it All Ball, which is, I think, a funny name for a cat. But of course, you know, a gorilla doesn't really know what a good name for a cat would be. So, you know, that was the first thing I thought of when I saw this picture. I was wondering if Christian was trying to draw a picture or create a painting of Coco and her little kitten, because they kind of were best friends. It's kind of cute. Okay, so I'm just coloring in all of this brown. I'm just using broad strokes, but however you color in, obviously, is totally fine. These markers are cool because they have like a flat end to it. So it's easy to kind of draw like this, just going all the way up and down. Now, normally I don't like to, in my own art, you know, copy other people, obviously. I'm sure you don't like it when people copy your work. But the only time I make exceptions is when I'm learning or trying to teach about another artist. Because I think it's important as you're growing as an artist, especially when you're younger in school, to, you know, look at all different types of art and artists, so that you can get ideas about your own work, okay? So that's why we're kind of copying basically what Christian Robinson is doing, you know, just so we can learn a little bit more about him and his process. Okay, so hopefully you are done coloring everything in. I'll get my black marker. So now what we're going to do, we're going to kind of do the finishing touches. Now in the original piece, which I'll show you again, all the black lines that you see in this painting, in this original one, Christian painted with gouache paint. We're obviously not painting and we didn't use collage, so instead I'm just grabbing a black marker so that we can do all of our details with just a black marker, okay? So let's start first with the face, and we're going to do it a little bit different than what Christian did. I'm going to do a little M here, kind of like a lowercase m, or like the little McDonald's arches. And then let's draw 2 dots inside. That will be our gorilla's nose. And let's give him a good smile, okay? So he looks really happy. Or if it's supposed to be Coco, the gorilla, then that would be a her. But either way, let's make this gorilla happy. Now, I kind of want to make the eyes looking as if they're looking down at the cat. So I'm going to kind of do them at an angle. Just a slight angle. So instead of drawing an oval like up and down, I kind of did an oval on its side. And you see how just that little detail helps make it look like he's looking down? I'm just going to also give him some ears. So just one letter C on that side, and then a letter C on this side. Now let's give some details to our cat. Let's have our cat also looking up at the gorilla, okay? So we'll do that by doing 2 ovals like that. Okay, so they're kind of towards the top side of his little face. And then we can just do a tiny little oval for his nose. And then a J and a backwards J for his mouth. And if you want to draw whiskers, you can draw like 2 on this side, 2 or 3, and then a couple on the side too. Just like the original. And then for the legs, we're going to keep it super simple. We're just going to do like 2 long curved lines. 1, 2. That's it for our cat. Super easy, right? Now we're going to draw the arms. We're going to draw them kind of coming from here, and we're going to have them going in front of our gorilla's body, so that looks like he's kind of like hugging his legs. So from about here, you're going to draw a curved line down. And then underneath it, you're going to draw another curved line down. Across. Oops. There we go. And you're going to stop about there. Now this is where you need to draw the fingers. So we're going to keep these super simple too. We're just going to do 1, 2, 3, and 4, and then close it up. Same thing on this side, okay? Let's try to go underneath the cat. So you're gonna start your arm here and go under the cat. Stop about there so that you have some space for your fingers. And then your other curved line here. And then 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, so there's our gorilla's hands. Now let's draw the legs. Now we already have the feet taken care of, okay, so we don't have to do that. But what we're gonna do is we're gonna draw the legs. So here's my foot, right? I wanna start right at the corner here. See where my foot starts to go into where the body is? I'm gonna continue that line up until about there. And then this one on the other side, so right again at the intersection where my toe meets up with the body, I'm gonna draw a line up until I meet the hand, and then I'm gonna stop. Okay, and then as if this line jumps over the hand up at the top above my hand, I need to draw a knee. So I'm going to draw a curved line like that. Okay, then let's draw another knee. This is going to be the knee that like the cat is sitting on. So you can just kind of go like this. If you don't have space like I don't, you can just draw a tiny little line, and then the rest of it you won't be able to see because it's going to be behind your cat, okay? So you're basically just going to draw this tiny little line, and then maybe on the other side you can draw a little line going down. It's just a tiny, tiny little detail. Now we can draw his legs though, so we're going to do the same thing that we did on that side. Right at this intersection where your toe meets up with your body, you're going to draw a line up. And then you want to see where your toe meets your body again here. You're going to go up until you touch your arm. Okay, so it kind of looks like these two little legs, and then you can kind of see the knees. It's very simple, but you can understand what's going on. That's what I like about this. Okay, now we just need to kind of draw like the curve of the leg to show that he's really sitting. So from right about here, you're going to just draw a curved line up. Okay. Now, usually I like to outline my pictures. Of course, that is not at all the style of this artist, Christian Robinson. So instead what I'm going to do, I'm just going to take my brown marker again, and I'm just going to kind of do more lines to kind of make it look like the gorilla has hair. Now, if you want to do this with a black marker, you can, or if you want to do it, if you want to skip this part because you're like, my hand hurts already, I don't feel like drawing anymore, you know, you are the artist. You should feel free to do whatever you want. But I just want to give it a little bit of texture, just to kind of change it up a little bit. I think it'll also help make my little cat stand out. Okay, so I'm just kind of going like around and around, kind of wherever. There's no real pattern to how I'm drawing my lines. Some of them are big, some of them are small. But it's just because when you color with markers, you can kind of see your brush strokes a little bit. And even though it's the same color, you can still kind of see the texture, right? You can still see the lines. That's what's so cool about marker. So it's kind of like you can layer all your colors to make them look a little hairy. Okay, almost there. Couple more spots. Okay, whoops, I forgot my knee. There you go. So see how that kind of just helps, it's kind of like a nice finishing touch. Just kind of helps make it look a little bit more put together and finished as a picture. Okay, if you didn't do that, don't worry about it. I just like to show you my process too. All right. There we go. There's my finished picture inspired by Christian Robinson. Hopefully you guys had fun doing this one. It was a little bit different than our normal drawing. But thanks for joining me, you guys. I'll see you back here again soon, okay? Bye.